Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say went to Celebration, hand CG a Nerf gun, and said, "You're gonna need this." All I know is I call him Stan.
It is. Yeah, what day is it? Who am I? Where am I? What's happening?
Yeah, I know the feeling. It has been a crazy couple weeks. You were at Celebration. I was running around with work and weather getting nice, and now Easter. It has been a big blur, and that's for sure. And then trying to keep up with the game on top of that with a never-ending stream of information.
Right, yeah. And I like how naive we were like 2 weeks ago. Like, yeah, I'll just do some little small podcast updates from the show, and you can do a side show, and we'll just cover the news. Won't miss a beat. Nah.
Yeah, we were expecting also CG being at Celebration and, kind of taking a step back, going, all right, we're going to let Celebration pop out, and then we're going to hit everybody with game news. And instead, they're like, nope, everybody's paying attention to the Celebration. Let's just throw information at them and try to catch them off guard.
Yeah, there was so much stuff coming out. We're gonna get through it, and yeah, let's go.
Yeah, in some shape or form, we will get through this. So let's jump right into. I mean, that was anything else other than Celebration over the last couple weeks?
Oh man, this has been all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, we've got Easter today. We've got Game of Thrones back. We're ramping up to Endgame. Oh, man, just so much stuff going on. And, hey, also, if you're new to the game or maybe new to the show, welcome aboard. Glad to have you. And also, big shout-out to our newest patron, Cotman. So thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's been a while since we got a new patron in the bar here. So
yeah,
glad to see it. And I swear we'll get back to regular content at some point.
Yeah, let's get through this so we can let's get back to it.
Yeah, life's
been watching
crazy.
a lot of TV, a lot of stuff going on. What you been watching?
Oh, I got stuck last week. It's like the Masters on top of the game, so Tiger's back. I'm so excited. It was epic final day, and I went to college and actually have a turfgrass management degree, so just watching the Masters and actually looking at that course always just boggles my mind on how much maintenance and what it takes to actually get a course looking like that consistently over that many weeks of preparation and play, along with all the crowds and everything there also. And then we had SpaceX and their Falcon Heavy landing not one, not two, but 3 of the boosters that go through at peak velocity. They're going like faster than a bullet and everything, which is crazy that they're able to land the thing, even though one of them kind of fell down because of high seas. But that's, the hard part was landing it. And as you said, Game of Thrones is back, and that is absolutely amazing. Endgame's coming up. Is that this week, I believe?
That's this week, yeah. Thursday.
I didn't even realize that until right before we started recording here. I went through and started looking at that, and I'm like, oh, I guess that is this week. So
I've still got to see Captain Marvel. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to do that.
Ooh, yeah, I haven't seen Captain Marvel either. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll figure something out. Life finds a way.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. It's a great time to be a nerd. I mean, Game of Thrones, Endgame, maybe it's a sad time to be a nerd. All of our favorite things are ending.
Is Game of Thrones really ending because the books aren't written yet?
Yeah, true. I can see him just going a completely different route from the TV show just to screw with everybody.
I have a feeling it's going to end up like that, especially after watching the first episode, because not really a spoiler or anything, because it happened all the last season of Game of Thrones. Where the hell are the dire wolves?
Oh, they're expensive to make, so they can't really put them in the show a lot.
Yeah, apparently, they aren't a big important part of the book or anything.
No, no, no. It's not Game of Wolves.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is my biggest complaint about that show and going into the final season is always like the Starks and the Direwolves and that plot line, and in the TV show it was like, well, they're kind of expensive, and we kind of backed ourselves in the corner when we did the first season with the wolves, so we just left it alone and do dragons because it could be interpreted any way and no one knows what a dragon looks like, so it's fine.
Right.
Oh,
Dragons are pretty cool.
I do like the dragons too, but I wish they had the direwolves to go along with it.
Be a direwolf riding a dragon.
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen.
Or a dragon holding a direwolf in each hand, talon, claw, whatever they have, and just flying around with them, holding them down while they're chomping on people. Dragon spitting fire. Okay, I'm gonna go write a fanfic right now. Be right back.
Oh man, Lost Stand. Lock the panic room. Don't let him out.
I gotta stay. Okay, I guess I'll find some Star Wars stuff to talk about.
Well, yeah. Speaking of Star Wars stuff, let's get into it. And it's been a couple weeks. You had Celebration, but how'd you make out in the game? What'd you get done?
Well, looking back a few weeks, it seems like an eternity ago. I did get mission up to gear 12 and put a Zeta on her. To unlock Malak. I got Anakin's ship up to 7 stars. Finished pretty much all my farming. Till they put somebody else on the table. I'm done for now.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. But that Malak event, like we're going to talk about it later, but
yeah, man,
I'll tell you what, I did the dark side version, no problem. I think I was in line for something. And, oh yeah, this is going on. I got some minutes to kill, so I went through it, knocked it out, no big deal. Light side, I decided to wait until the last night to attempt it. Started at 10 o'clock. I had to be up early to get in line and do this celebration thing again. So 10 o'clock, I'm fighting through it. It's not going my way. 2 o'clock in the morning, I am still going at it. And I'm starting to get nervous because, the event's about to go away and who knows when it's coming back. And it just was not working for me. And I had these visions in my mind. I was, I can't not unlock this. I'm just going to screw this. I'm going to quit the game tomorrow morning, going straight to CG booth, give them a piece of my mind, blah, 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 blah. So I had one run left. It was like 1:55 in the morning, and I start my run, and RNG smiled on me, and I beat it. 5 minutes after the event ended, I got my victory screen, and I was so nervous that it was going to roll over and say, this event has expired, and not give my rewards. Now, at that point, I would have gone to Celebration right then and has been standing there waiting for CG to show up.
They show up in their morning with their coffee and a bagel, and you're just standing there staring at them.
Just as angry. It's like, oh, you're that podcast guy, right?
Just hold your phone and go, this is happening.
I did talk to CG Crumb, and he said, yeah, if that would have happened, just shoot him a screenshot or something, and they would have been able to hook it up.
Yeah.
But I'll talk more about my Celebration adventure a little bit later.
Yeah, we
at the end of the show. That way, I don't just way down the front end for those that are actually caring about the game.
Yeah, but I mean, you had quite an eventful week there towards the end. Mine,
you got a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, I went through and I told everybody I had that completion train just with everything going on that I stopped farms to focus on specific characters, and it was time to go back and finish them up, and I did. Let me tell you, I did. So, started off, I got Xanadu Blood up to 7 stars. IG 2000 up to 7 stars. So that meant the Millennium Falcon is at 7 stars. Django went to 7 stars. Canderous went to gear 12. Parth got his Zeta. Darth Revan went to gear 12. And HK-47 went to gear 12. So yeah, it was a definitely a
It's an
snowball
eventful couple
effect.
of weeks.
Yeah, I went through a very well. Actually, I think you even got one more here because just today I went through and Darkside Bastille is also Gear 12 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so getting there with the Darth Revan team. I've been working hard trying to get that team up to snuff, and really just down to Sith Trooper, starting to grind out gear for him to get him up and get that team running and mess around with mods then. So excited to mess around with mods.
Yeah, just in
Said,
time for this rumored mod 3.0.
yeah, it's always a change. I'm just hoping what they mean by mods 3.0 or 2.5 or whatever they want to go to is just updating mod management, going able
Yeah.
to sort, giving a little bit more sorting options by level and just little features like that to make everything a little bit easier on everybody right now. So
Yeah, let's hope so.
yeah, but we'll get into that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy where I'm at as far as the completion train goes. Getting things wrapped up. I'm down just to the last few hard node farms, which is kind of an odd feeling, but we're getting there. I actually do also have all my capital ships maxed out with extra currency to max out another capital ship if it comes in. I have 2,000 currency as far as the tokens for the capital ships right now. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a very good place with ships, other than not having any of the Sith ships ready to go right now. But I'm working on
Yeah.
them.
See, yeah, I'm in the same boat too. I've got enough to fully max the capital ship and then some. I'm starting to lean toward we may get two capital ships.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. That way well, I don't know. The way they're testing, I can't really say. I would say, oh yeah, that'd be nice because then you got to go through and get an option based on the characters you have, and you're able to use either or ship. It might not be the case. So
Yeah. Yeah,
we'll
the
just
game's
leave that.
the game's in such a weird spot, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I do have that because just with everything happening over the last couple of weeks has kind of put the game in a weird situation. It's not even really gameplay. It's a very odd thing that's been happening recently. But before we get there, let's at least hit the highlights of Celebration because there's two or three like big things that I think in Celebration that I want to go over before you give your impressions
Yeah, absolutely.
of that. So let's do a couple, and then we'll get into the game with the calendar and then all the news that happened.
All right, yeah. The thing I think everybody wants to know is what was Resistance season 2 first episode like, and it was pretty good. All right, so let's move on. Calendar watch. What we got?
Oh man, you're killing me here. Well, I did want to know about that to see if whether they picked up right where they left off and getting more into the plot
Yes, I'm-
line.
I will talk about that at the end of the show.
All right, but the two I want to talk about, episode 9 trailer did finally get released.
Yes.
Rise of the Skywalker, the title, correct?
Yes. Yes. Love it. Everything
Yeah.
about it. Love it.
Yep, looked really cool. Very excited for that trailer. Was enough to get everybody excited. The title gets everybody excited, but it really doesn't give away anything of the movie other than Lando showing up.
Well, somebody else shows up, or maybe showing up.
Well, Lando showing up and then showing the meme of Han saying, or Lando saying, "I'll get my Millennium Falcon back," and Han saying, "Over my
Right.
dead body," and then just having Lando cackling and flying the Falcon again.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cackling, that Palpatine laugh
Yes.
moment of the show for Celebration. Did you watch the panel?
I did not watch the panel, but I went back and watched a clip of it where it was the trailer and then Palpatine coming out and saying,
Yes.
"Play it again."
My God, that just the laugh alone, the place went nuts. And then lights came up and he was on stage. People lost their minds. It was incredible.
Yeah, that was very cool, and I did see some comments and everything about how that laugh is there and seeing like kind of like pieces of the Death Star in the trailer
Yeah.
and how that would actually relate and how that would be possible then, which was really cool. And it has me excited with the tie-ins of both books and previous cartoon series. And they're actually going through and using that type of information and actually tying it all together, which is, I think, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they could bring in World Between Worlds stuff from Rebels, the comics, you name it. Or it could just be misdirection. This is J.J. Abrams. He loves, sending people off on wild goose chases. We'll see. I just can't wait.
I mean, either way to me, just having that possibility, not even the possibility in there, having that in there, yeah, it might not affect the movie, but having it reference older material and the cartoons and the rest of the universe, I like that in a trailer.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I want to talk about with Celebration was The Mandalorian.
Yes.
And the clips from that and all the information that came out about that. That looks amazing. And definitely the way they described it being kind of, a space western.
Yeah.
Reminds me very much of Firefly, and I love Firefly, so I'm really excited about that now.
Yeah, it would. I was optimistic for this show, but they completely sold me on it with the trailer they put out, and then the, I guess, 5-minute scene that they showed us. I think there's still some footage out there on YouTube. It hadn't been taken down yet. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, I saw the little behind the scenes where the directors were talking about some of the information.
No, this was a full scene. This was like a 5-minute scene in the show.
Then no, I saw the trailer. I did not see the full 5-minute scene.
Okay, yeah, this was great. It starts off, he's kind of walking down this little alley. They're showing all these practical effect aliens and robots and whatnot. He gets up to this door, and the little eyeball droid from like Jabba's palace comes out.
Okay.
Comes back in, door opens. There's a battery droid, Gonk or whatever, walking down the hallway. So it's all just total nods to the original trilogy. Then he door opens up, and there's this dude surrounded by stormtroopers. And remember, this is post Jedi, so these are Empire remnants that they're doing business with, and they're talking about having to find somebody, and they don't have all the coordinates and whatnot, and they got to make a deal, and he gets the job and leaves. It was still pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it looks absolutely amazing. I'm hoping we get that character in the game, because that rifle that he has,
Yeah.
Whew,
I'm sure we'll get him. We'll get the Carl Weathers character, and I forget the actress's name, but she'll be in there. Yeah, did you see the one shot of the stormtrooper helmet getting just the face getting smashed?
No, I got distracted by the IG bot just spinning around blasting people. I just kept watching that.
Yeah, that was cool too. Yeah, they had that one little scene where like this a stormtrooper gets smacked in the face, and it just shatters the helmet and the face guard, which is such a visceral thing that we've really never seen in Star Wars before.
Yeah, in the universe,
seeing that
happen,
was just like it was crazy. It was nuts. But again, I'll give more impressions at the end of the show. But it's such a good time to be a Star Wars fan. There's just so much stuff to be excited about. It feels like we moved past the Last Jedi divide, and everybody has something to look forward to now. Whether you're a book fan, a movie fan, a TV fan, you name it, there's something for you.
I honestly think that divide is going to lessen over time as the story gets told completely.
Yeah,
it'll
all fit together.
Yeah, especially nowadays, people always go through and have a divide with a movie until they see the complete ending and seeing the payoff. And I understand some of the parts in The Last Jedi go through and leave big cliffhangers and don't really answer any questions, which that's what people don't like. But it's also, they always said it was going to be a trilogy. It's going to tell a story over 3 movies, so obviously the middle movie is going to have more questions than answers. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, speaking of more questions than answers, how's the calendar looking?
It's busy. We are in the middle of pieces and plans. We've got Ray's Hero Journey going on. We've got a Grand Arena. We've got a Vanilla Territory War. We've got a Round War coming up. We've got the Smugglers Run Monday, Credit Heist on Tuesday, Contraband Cargo on Thursday. We've got a Territory War with bonus coming up. Then Revan comes back on the 27th. And a new thing. We've got a
Jedi Knight Revan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll clarify that for everybody. Jedi Knight Revan. Darth Revan is not coming back now.
Kevin is coming back.
Okay.
Not Devin.
Phew.
And we've got a 3v3 characters and ship Grand Arena, which I don't think we've had before.
No, we have not had a 3v3 with ships put in. That's interesting.
So we'll have that on the 27th. So coming up this weekend. Packed calendar. It is a little light on the 25th and 26th. So, if we are going to have any sort of marquee showing up, maybe then. But I don't see it, to be honest with you. With May 4th coming up, I think any kind of big events will be more toward then.
I'm just going to point this out. We said that about Celebration also.
Yeah, we did.
I definitely see stuff coming out with that opening of the events and the 25th and 26th. I could see something coming out in that time to lead up to May the 4th, and they have been hinting at something actually releasing that week, and they have been teasing that, so I'm kind of interested to see what appears at that time.
If we get a marquee character, I could see it being a separatist droid, simply because I kind of think we're going to need them for bonus missions in this Geonosis map, and we are starting with Darkseid, so they're going to want something out there to sell us, basically.
Well, it depends on how close everything is to being finished, because that 25th, 26th could just be new characters actually hitting the map right before a new event. So
yeah, maybe so.
Speaking of, this calendar and the speculation's already going into the news. So let's jump right into the news here and go over what we missed over the last 2 weeks, which seems like even longer. And man, it started off with the elephant in the room of Malak. It went through, was teased at the end of the Darth Revan event, and he came a lot sooner than we thought.
Yes, he did.
I was not expecting this. I thought it was going to be a while, and boy, were we wrong. Gotta say, love the puzzles, love how this came through. It was kind of an obvious that Malak was coming out. I like the puzzles when we really weren't expecting the character. When it was Django.
Right, yeah. When you know the answer before you work it out, it's not quite as fun.
Even Chewbacca was the other one. Those puzzles were a lot of fun because we had no idea what character those puzzles led to.
Now, I wasn't able to follow this real closely. I saw where they had unlocked a picture. Was there any more to the puzzle solved past that?
Yes. When they got the picture unlocked, it had like a Morse code in the lightsaber with 2 colored blocks at the bottom left and bottom right of the picture itself. Then they had to go through, I forget, they either translated the Morse code and then it goes into a color scheme for colors using those blocks that were there, and it gave them another link that went through and had a semi-kit reveal for Malak.
Okay.
It was kind of going through. The kit reveal had the image going through kind of burnt and distressed, so you could, pieces of the kit was missing, but it was there, which I did like. That puzzle inside a puzzle, and it took longer to get the actual kit part, but we at least knew who the character was a nice way to go through and actually introduce Malak's kit, even though everybody knew it was kind of, well, but this is going to be Malak's, but how are we going to get him? And yeah, so
we got a new event.
Yeah, we got a new event, which was listed, what was it called? Starforge. I think just Starforge. It was listed as an extremely difficult event, and it was definitely difficult. Let's start off with the requirements of this. So you had to go through and had Jedi Knight Kevin and Devin with 4 of the 5 characters needed to unlock both of them. So 10 characters completely, or in total, all with the galactic power rating of over 17,500, which
Yes.
means everybody pretty much had to be Gear 12. Or
Yeah, or Gear 11 with some Zetas. Yeah, you had to invest. There was no getting by with 3 good characters and hiding another one.
yeah, and everybody had to be modded fairly well, and it is what it is. It was a very steep requirement to this event, and we'll just start off with this. You went through and you said you unlocked Malak with no time left on the clock.
Right, yeah.
Where is your Malak sitting right now?
Right now, he is at 6 stars, 70 of 100 shards for 7.
Whew. All right, you're a lot
Gear
further
11.
than Gear 11. Zetas?
Not yet. I've got one. Haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. I got to read into it more. I haven't even. It's kind of sad. I have not changed my arena team yet. I've got them. I've got all the characters. I hate moving mods around so much. I just got to sit down and do it.
For his Zetas, both of them are very good.
Yeah.
His health steal and damage part,
That's what I'm looking at. I think that's going to be the definite.
but both of them are very good. When you go through and have both of them on, it completely changes the character itself. And like you, I was able to get Malak unlocked. I really didn't have an issue, and I didn't have to spend any money on this at all. Nothing. It just happened to work out. If people listening to the podcast know, I went through and said I wanted to build that Kira Mission Zalbar team, so I had those characters done. Because I had Jolie, Jedi Knight Revan, and Bastila Shan obviously geared up for my arena team, so Lightside was done. With the ideal teams, they all had Zetas on it. I was already talking about going through building out that Karth Canderous team, and I was gearing up everybody else for my Darth Revan team. So I was already there. I just had to go through and shift my gear. Instead of taking Bastila Shan and Devin to gear 12 at the time, I had to shift that gear over to Canderous and Karth and give Karth a Zeta in order to complete the event, which wasn't a big deal. It just shuffled my gearing priorities at the time. So he's unlocked. I do have him at gear 10 currently, and I do have both Zetas on him.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't have to spend anything either, just with the Horde, been able to save up over time. And well, to be honest with you, at the CG booth, they were taking up ally codes and sending out 1,000 crystals a day for a couple of days. So I think I got 3,000 or 4,000 crystals courtesy of CG for visiting their booth at Celebration. So that definitely helped a lot, and that basically paid for the gear to get Malak up.
Okay.
But that being said, neither one of us are like I would say we're pretty good at the game, but we're not just insane top end super players, and we're getting the best character in the game for free, and that's not what they want. That's not what a game like this needs to financially survive. And we'll talk. This isn't where we're going to talk about this, but it shows what, like we mentioned, this game is in such a weird state right now that they're going to have to make some pretty significant adjustments to that. And it's going to be a bit of a painful readjustment, I think. And I don't think we're through the turbulence just yet.
This is where it's a little bit odd for me, because there's always going to be a portion of the community that is going to get a character like Malak or Darth Revan without having to pay for it. And I feel we shift into that because of how closely we follow the game. We go through and look for what they're hinting at, what they're doing. So we have these characters. We know which characters they're focusing on and saying there's a priority, and we're prioritizing what they're telling us. which gives us the advantage where everybody else. And I've listened to other podcasts and even other YouTubers that are going through and they're having to drop a lot of money to get these characters because they know they're important and they weren't getting ready for that at the time. Some of them don't even have Jedi Knight Revan or Darth Revan currently because they were going through working on other characters and other teams where we were going through, all right, this is what we need to do. This is what CG is telling us they're leaning towards, so we're going to go after that. Other people were like, well, it's KOTOR. I'm not really big into KOTOR, so I'm not going to farm these characters. And they're paying the price, unfortunately, for that right now, whether for good or bad.
Yeah,
So I think we have a little bit of a skewed version of saying, oh, a lot of these free-to-play people like us are getting these, and we do spend money on this game. We aren't completely free to play, but we aren't spending a lot of money on it also because we're following the game very closely to allow us to have these characters when they come out.
And I think the biggest issue I think a lot of people end of the day probably have is just how short the event was, how hard it was and how short it was. I'm sure if I had not made it, my opinion of this would be just 180 degrees. I'd be completely soured on everything. So I definitely understand that. I get that. As hard as this is, hard as it is to prepare, I think 3 days is a little short.
Now, I'm going to withhold judgment currently because we don't know how often this is going to come back. If this comes back a lot,
I don't see it returning any.
I don't see it either, but just throwing it out there, if they do a shorter event and this one is going to come back more often because of how steep the requirements are to begin with, having that 3-day event isn't as big of a deal to me.
Yeah, they did say this was something they're going to look at doing in the future as well.
Which we did predict that.
Yeah.
We did go out and say, when we were talking about Darth Revan or Malak coming out, we were having that discussion I was leaning towards Malak coming out first and then needing Jedi Knight Revan and Malak to get Darth Revan. They flipped the script on that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is how we went through and did that event. We had to get Darth Revan first, and then we used Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan to go through and unlock Malak.
And I think one of us did say that. We're like, well, they could do it this way where instead of only needing 5 characters, you'll need 10.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they did.
Yeah, we did discuss that too. Going through and having the characters that we were required for both of them, and then just upping the gear level and making the event difficulty harder to weed out those people and actually having to know the gameplay and having to invest in those characters heavier than before. And I have it listed here. Right now, it does seem very harsh. But as a new player coming up, it is a very nice progression. Hey, you work on Jedi Knight Revan, you get Jedi Knight Revan, you continue building that team. You work on getting Darth Revan, you get Darth Revan geared up, and you get the characters and the team around him build up. And that allows you to get Malak. It is a very nice, smooth progression of a completion of the game.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I understand where they're going. Right now it is harsh. I'm iffy on the 3-day event. I really did not like the 3-day notice. That's what I think was very harsh, that, hey, in 3 days we have this event and it's going to be very hard and you have to have all these gear requirements. That seemed a little rushed and seemed like a quick reaction based on how many people got Darth Revan, which I don't even understand. I mean, it is what it is, but the 3-day notice I wasn't a big fan of.
Yeah, it's
I mean, there's nothing really to say. They just went through and did it and said, hey, well, we don't have to go through and tell you because we just renamed the event. It's a new event, so we don't have to give you 7 days warning.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed a little underhanded to me. Not so much the 3-day event part, other than knowing there was a large portion of the player base at Celebration and having it released over Celebration.
Yeah, for those those of us that were there, it was very hard to really follow the game and get it. It was so weird too. Like, we're in the middle of Star Wars. but yet disconnected and it's out of the loop on everything else. Is weird dichotomy. And I think another thing that hurt the Malak event was we were coming off of the hard node attempt drop. So people were salty about that. Then we got this. Then that kind of leads into the next thing we'll talk about. They ended up having to change Palpatine because he was such a strong counter to this basically pay-to-play character. So just all those things just left a bad taste in people's mouth. And I think that may be a reason we got so much news all of a sudden. It was just like, hey, let's shift the conversation. Let's move off of this. Let's give you something else to talk about.
Yeah, just the whole timing of this event seemed really odd to me. And like I said, especially the timing, having it over Celebration, and just the 3-day warning. We had all that. And as you mentioned, they went through. Palpatine pretty much could... I don't even know if it was really wipe the field. It's basically Palpatine team would outspeed Darth Revan and just walk over them because of that. Well, it happens. It really doesn't hold up on defense, though. But CG wanted to go through, update Malak's ability to go through, and as soon as he put the debuffs, all of a sudden, opposing Sith Empire, or just Sith in general, cannot gain bonus turn meter.
Yeah, basically just flips that switch, kills the team.
Which led to a controversy of everybody going through and freaking out. Sith Assassin doesn't work with this team anymore. They went through and had this gift saying Sith Assassin was a strong synergizing with Darth Revan. And I have a comment for that. People are freaking out about it. And they did say they would go through and return gear on Sith Assassin. Not really sure why, because Sith Assassin does synergize well with Darth Revan.
Just not
on defense.
In the way they want.
No, just not on defense. Defense has nothing to do with synergy. Synergy has everything to do with how the team interacts with each other on offense. Just because you went through and chose a bad counter to go up against, or your defensive squad isn't going to hold because they had a better counter, that does not mean it's bad synergy.
I mean, well, yeah, you do want some synergy on defense too, but I see your point.
It's only against one team. It's only against one team. That's like going through and taking, what is a bad team? Going through and it's like, I'm going to go through and take my clones up against a Zeta Barris team. Well, the clones don't synergize well because they can't beat Barris. Well, yeah, because all you do is crit and heal the other team.
All right, yeah.
It just boggled my mind. I mean, I understand that people went through and did it specifically for defense, but you can't use the guise of, the team synergy doesn't work anymore. No, it does work. It does work very well. It doesn't hold up on defense.
Yeah, and that's the only really complaint I have with it. I mean, I understand them wanting to protect their prestige character because people have invested a lot of time, money, and sweat, tears, whatever you have to get this character, and you don't want it completely just invalidated. But also, our last show we were talking about how great the arena was now because there was a good rock paper scissors. If you want to use Palpatine, knock yourself out, it's not going to hold on defense. Yeah, and I think that's healthy. But now we're back to it's top 20 on my shards, all Devin.
Yeah, same here. But I mean, I understand what they did. It can do it because they may see characters further on down the road that they did have the road ahead. They do have new characters coming that may shift some of this. So they may be seeing a little bit further into the future than we are currently.
All right. Well, some of them are already shifting it, and I think that's going to get changed as well.
Yeah. Get out their Nerf guns. But I just don't like the player base going through and saying, it doesn't synergize well. No, it does. It definitely seems like sour grapes for free-to-play people who rushed into a team. You gotta let these teams flesh themselves out. We always go through, and both of us have Malak and Darth Revan, and we're still running Kevin because we are waiting to see how everything plays out.
Yeah, I would rather sacrifice a week of arena payouts
Hmm.
and invest a little more wisely than, like I said, rush in and get number one for a week. But as soon as everything shakes out, you're stuck playing catch up anyway.
Exactly. And this, all the complaints, that's all it seemed like to me. People rushing to a team and not letting everything play out, see what CG has in mind, because obviously they went through and threw Malak at you. Malak changes that dynamic of that team, where Sith Assassin isn't going to go through and be the best solution to that team. So they got a little ahead of themselves. They rushed into it. They committed the gear. That's kind of on you. I'll be the bad guy here. That is on them. That is on the player that wanted to rush and have the new shiny thing. This game is a marathon. It is about going through and wisely investing unless you're going to wail out and have everybody done.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, but again, I'll give CG credit. They're refunding any gear applied after a certain date. I don't have it pulled up right now.
Yes.
So in a certain window, if you geared in response to their theory crafting and their recommendations, you will get that gear back. So
Yeah.
yay.
CG is doing that, but I think the outcry over this was way overblown. It was way overboard. It shouldn't have been that bad. They does synergize well. It don't go through and say we'll synergize great on defense. It just says this team synergizes well, or these characters synergize well with Darth Revan.
Yeah, no. I feel we have this show every 3 months or so where it's the gaming community outrage versus CG, and is the game dead and blah blah blah. And 6 months later, we're talking about the next thing. We're still going strong. This game has quote unquote been killed so many times.
Yeah. Protection coming into the game, mods coming into this
Yeah.
game, mods 2.0 coming into this game, Gear
This game
12
is-
coming into this game.
The only thing that's going to kill this game is EA looking at their balance sheet and saying this is not bringing in the amount of money we want to continue to fund it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's going to kill it. And again, with us not really having to pay for the last 6 months to a year in the game and still be able to get everything new right away first time, that can't be healthy on the financial side of the game. I haven't seen the numbers come out for the monthly report. It may have, and I just missed it. But I'd be curious to see
And-
what the trend looks like.
Now, we can get into this a little bit right now. So, with some of the numbers, Jedi Knight Revan, the first time the event came out, 12,000 people, unlike Jedi Knight Revan, first go around. All right, we know it was a very heavy paywall. It limited everybody. Darth Revan comes out. Darth Revan had 23 or 25,000 people unlock Darth Revan first go around. Okay, that is a lot. That is a lot higher. It could be one of two things. You saying people saved up, got their crystals, and didn't have to pay for the character because of where everybody is in the game. I'm saying it could also very well be everybody saw the impact of Jedi Knight Revan had on the game, were watching, and when Darth Revan came out, they were either one, very well prepared because they were dropping everything because there wasn't anything else going on in the game at the time. They had Grand Arena, but that doesn't really stop any farming. So they went after these characters. Or they went through and more people paid because they saw the payoff of having Darth Revan or having Kevin the first time and didn't want to miss out this time. And then Malak came out, and I believe it was right around 14,000 people unlocked Malak the first time go around. And I'm just leaning towards people are spending the money or investing very wisely to make sure they get these characters because they're seeing how big of an impact they are having on the game and on how many aspects of the game right now. Because originally, it really only affected Arena and Territory Wars. And now it's affecting Arena, Territory Wars, Grand Arena. Grand Arena is getting expanded upon. Territory Wars is actually kind of expanding also. it is getting more important to have these big characters. And I think the player base is realizing this and making sure they are ready for it or willing to spend for it because they don't want to get left behind anymore.
Yeah, I can see that too. I mean,
it's hard. It's hard to tell without the numbers, though.
Yeah.
Hey, 23,000 people got Darth Revan. Now, how many of those people actually had to put money down to get them, versus how many people just planned very well and had a crystal hoard like you did to be able to go through and unlock them? It's tough to say right now.
And I think, too, that's why we're seeing a lot of these newer events and different cadences, because the player base has gotten so good at predicting when all this stuff's happening. You know when a marquee comes out, you know how long you have till it goes free to play. You know, okay, all I got to do is wait 6 weeks. I should be able to get in shipments, or wait another 6 weeks, be able to get it free to play. I can budget better. And they don't want us to have that much ability to predict things. They want to be a little more, I guess, catch people by surprise.
Yeah, the player base is very analytical and will crunch those numbers better than CG will, and quicker, because there are more people and they can put more man hours than CG ever can into stuff like that. So there's always a better way, and the player base will find it. And I think we are starting to see that kind of coming to a head right now within the game.
I think so. Well, let's move on. Let's get off this for let's talk about the road ahead. We did get
we got that also during Celebration.
Right? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, they went crazy with information. So we had Malak. We go right into the road ahead. We went through just that first blurb that they had. CG Carey's going through and was talking about how she wants to go through, and it's been in the works to go through and spread out information over an extended period of time rather than big hunks of information coming out every few months. Fine by me. We have a podcast. That works perfectly for me. You mean we're gonna get information and not have these dead periods? Amazing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So the next thing she went through and actually talked about, like you were saying, about the marquee cadence and this cadence they've had for characters, which are a lot better than they had before with Erodium packs and Chromium packs and things like that. And as the game has progressed, they're kind of said, at least over this next few months, they're going to be actually, even you could see it during the course of this year. They're shying away from some of the marquees, not as many, but they're going to start going through having more updates to characters and reworks. Hey, not bad. And they went through and started off with Jedi Anakin, General Kenobi, and Snips, Ahsoka Tano.
Yep. Oh, so happy, especially with the Clone Wars stuff coming out too. Oh, such great timing.
Yes, it was very exciting. I am glad to hear it. We have been talking about these characters and this section of characters getting a rework for a long time. Very curious on the monetization of this part, or if they're able to work with EA and saying we have an end goal here and these reworks will pay off later on, but we may have a slower couple months because of this, which might be. Who knows? But
I think it all comes down to how the territory battle is laid out.
Yeah. And I mean, they're going through with Grand Arena and all this other stuff. But either way, they have more information. And as we predicted about a year ago,
right,
a new territory battle map is finally coming and hitting the game. And like we said, it is going to be on Geonosis, set during the Clone Wars era. That epic battle in the Clone Wars is hitting the map. Yes.
Yeah.
We did call it.
Yeah, we saw the kind of writing on the wall, and we're finally getting it.
Wait, did we really see the writing on the wall, or did we create the writing on the wall and they just followed it?
Well, I talked to them, and they say they don't listen to our show.
Deny.
They're
You don't want to say where you got your information from. You just deny it. It never happens if you don't admit to it.
Well, they did say, it's Star Wars. A lot of this stuff is pretty predictable. kind of easy to guess where they're going to go. And they did say they do like to put hints out there and kind of telegraph when they can.
Yeah, we
So,
appreciate
anyway,
that
yeah.
very much. But yeah, we were talking about this way beforehand, so we'll take credit for it. We went through
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shoved
why
them in
not?
the right direction.
So we're starting off with dark side territory battle. So that's going to be interesting.
Well,
Hope you're
yeah, before we even get to that, I mean, they did mention, just like Hoth, there will be new characters hitting that will be needed for the map. There's going to be new special events and new types of events on how this is structured than Hoth 2. So it is going to get mixed up, and we have discussed it quite a bit on how we would like to see territory battles tweaked to make it a little bit more player friendly at all levels rather than just the higher end guilds. Very excited. Also, they
yeah.
did say not only new characters needed for the map, characters unlocked like IPD and Rolo to unlock in the map itself will be there. Also, guild event tokens will also have new characters there. So
Yeah.
overall, just absolutely amazing. Sounds like a lot of new characters to gear up. Interested to see what their kits are, how they synergize well with other characters, and what teams they're going to fit into. So very excited about that. And like you were saying, all right, they did do an interview. Did say territory battles will be dark side first this time.
Yeah, and this came from the Galactic War Report. They actually did a podcast, a celebration where they had them on the show.
This was man, where we have come within the game on dark side. I remember when the territory battle maps first came out and they did dark side for the first time, and everybody just cringed because no one could beat anything on there because the
Yes,
dark side was so horrendous.
it was brutal. I kind of think we're going to get something similar. I think this is going to be a little more in-game territory battle.
I think it's gonna flip flop. I
You
think
think
this is going to be go through. It's going to be dark side is going to be the easier one because everybody has those sets of characters already geared up. And then when it flips to light side, we're going to be needing like clones. There's not a lot of people that have clones geared up except for
Princess Zodi team.
yeah, the Princess
representing.
Zodi team. But say they go through and the clones don't really work very well without a newly released clone troopers. That you had
Bad
to plug
Batch.
2 or 3 in there, and that's what make that team work within the territory battle map.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, I mean,
we're
that-
back to
that's-
square one. It's like
that's-
going through trying to beat those wampas with the bounty hunters that we had at the time.
Well, yeah, I think both of these will be like that. They're designed to give us 6 months to a year worth of challenging content. So yeah, we're gonna have stuff to farm, stuff to unlock. Yeah, I don't expect to max out stars first time through. I am keeping an eye on my droids. I'm leaning toward needing Droidica and B1 for this map for the 7-star or 6-star bonus mission, simply because there are 2 characters that are not farmable yet, and they're going to want to give you a reason to farm those.
And they fit into that time frame on when they would be going
Yep.
free to play. Because they said
Yep.
they did kind of hint that something would be hitting the game around May the 4th. And B1 and Droidica are both set to go free to play either that week or the following week.
Yeah,
So
I
it
can see
fits
him hitting
very well
early.
in there.
Yep, that's what I think is going to happen. Oh, man, we still got a whole lot to cover. Let's
Yeah.
keep on moving.
I will get distracted. So
Yeah, it looks like we're getting, and they talk to so many people, so there's a lot of rumors, a lot of kind of hearsay out there, but Padme looks very likely. New members of the Jedi Council, it looks very likely as well.
well, they went through and teased people at the Geonosian War there and that Battle of Geonosian. There's certain characters that are there and missing within the game that you should be expecting to hit the map
Yeah,
or hit the board. I don't know dark side who's actually missing, honestly. Light side, I know there's a lot of Jedi that are missing.
well, they could do just generic Geonosians, Geonosian Commando, Geonosian whatever.
They said the bugs would be a good idea to level.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going that far. I mean, you're already there. I might hoard some gear up just in case for them. I mean, although it wouldn't be a bad idea to have my bugs geared up for at least ships.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's
Sounds very much like the clone troopers will be getting a rework with possibly new clones the way they've been talking about.
Yeah, and I think with the new Clone Wars season, a major arc of that is going to be the Bad Batch clones, which is kind of a special forces group, and also clones. So I don't know if they may put some units in there for her.
Yeah, we'll see. Also sounded like the next two, at least the next 2 months, are just going to be Clone Wars. Nothing else. It's going to be all Clone Wars related over the next few months.
Well, speaking of Clone Wars, have you messed around with this Jedi rework?
No, I have not. I have seen it. Luckily I have Jedi Anakin at year 12, but I haven't remodded him to try this out. But
I saw McMull put a video out there that they're doing 10 to 15% in phase 1 of the Sith raid. It seems pretty strong.
That seems about right. I went through and hit the last Sith raid we had in P2. I got in there and put in my Kevin team and threw the characters. And I did throw Jedi Anakin in there, and I got 7.5 million or something like that. Almost 8 million, just on auto. And I went through and set it aside. And all right, there you go.
Our guild does not give us time to theory craft anything in the Sith raid. It is you get one shot per phase. As soon as your team is done, we're in the next phase. 40 minutes and that thing's killed.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. Looks strong, man. I love synergy like this. I like all of those characters. I will definitely look at putting that team together in the future. I mean, there's a lot more pressing issues right now, but they will be on my Grand Arena or Territory War team.
Yeah, I've been looking at those characters also, but with the new Territory battle maps, I'm kind of holding off any Zetas or anything else with that until we actually go through and actually see what else is going to be part of that Galactic Republic tag, because it seems like they're building up for that specific tag to have a good team somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
See, we get distracted here.
We don't notes here.
Yeah, we didn't even go through all the road ahead. I mean, Grand Arena Championship.
Yeah,
whole different system for not really a whole different system for Grand Arena, but it seems like they're going to go through and start putting everybody, as you said earlier, a ladder system. Different brackets based on your win-loss record along with your GP. So I see this as a more competitive matchmaking. If you take it seriously, you have the mods, you're going to move up a tier. You move up a tier, you get better rewards, so it actually incentivizes going up and competing at a higher level. If you don't take it as seriously, you're going to go through and go down a tier and kind of run into players that are either at your level or at a lower level trying to work their way up. I don't see any downside to this. It does seem nice. I'm kind of curious on what the differential of the rewards are as you get higher, because once again, that could be that system where the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, just like the raids within a guild, and kind of create that guild divide. Hey, the guys that can get the top gear and top rewards within the raid keep getting further and further away from the rest of the guild, because they're the one getting the gear. They're the one that can gear out the better characters and finish out characters and mods because they're getting the better rewards, and no one can actually move up because of that.
Yeah, they've been doing a pretty good job with the Grand Arena awards and the spreads. I'm not too concerned with that, but
I completely agree with you. Right now, it is very good. I just throw it out there that I'm kind of cautious right now, just to see how big the difference of rewards are. Hopefully it's just like maybe some crystal difference, credit difference, not so much exclusive gear 12, gear 12 plus, Zetas, things like that. Actually, Zetas aren't even that critical. I shouldn't say they aren't critical, but they aren't as important anymore.
Yeah, it's not as rare
Yes. I just
of a
don't want to go
source.
through and see huge differences in rewards in which your arena, your regular arena, is going to get very basically affected by this grand arena tiering if those top 5 positions, top 10 positions are getting a much better rewards than anybody else in arena because they're in those upper brackets.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
mean,
let's
that
see.
could happen
Yeah.
with anything.
What's that?
That could happen with anything as far as
Yeah.
they put in here the top tier getting better rewards and creating a bigger divide from top to the bottom.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Well,
we had so much news. We didn't even mention Basilisk Sean did get an update to synergize better with Kevin.
right.
Kind of matches Darkside Basilisk with Devin.
Yeah, we got that. We got Gear 12 pieces farmable. We got those new Gear 12 pieces, or not Gear 12 pieces, but the new gear pieces for Malak, which they say they're farmable,
No.
but man, the drop rate is garbage.
Yeah, you just end up buying it. It was he need 4 here 8, 9, 10, and 11?
Yeah,
All need
it was a
that new
lot.
piece?
It was kind of too many. I mean, that was pushing it in my opinion.
That one was really rough having that many of the new pieces and those new pieces give +3 speed every time.
Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. We've
Yeah.
got
New
They-
territory
they-
war bonuses.
those crazy bastards did it.
They put all hands on deck.
All hands on deck. I love that territory war bonus. That's so awesome.
And they went through and put in unstable batteries, which I don't even know what exactly it does because they went through and said, well, it's not working as intended because we have an old description listed in there that the code is referencing, so it's not pulling the right effects into the territory wars.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, yeah.
The last territory war, I'd log in, see what our territory war general needed me to do. I'd go do it, and then go back to celebrating. So I didn't get a chance to pay too much attention to these.
I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
We got Rolo and IPD changed back to 1 shard. Again, I think they're sunsetting the old maps. I'm going to focus.
I don't like this.
I don't see the point of changing it at this point. Why?
Their explanation was going through saying they shifted it from 1 shard to 2 shards because of the amount of territory battles that could happen within a month when they did light side and dark side. So you have less territory battles, you'd go through and give them everybody more shards. This is really going to hamper newer guilds. IPD is a big deal to have for Grand Arena and Territory Wars. You have a tough character to get out, wham, IPD it.
Yeah.
Just did that in Grand Arena.
So
Saw a team in there with Nest, and I was like, well, I'm just going to put IPD in here real quick. Did a little damage, went through, blew up Nest, and I was like, all right, now I can bring in another team and actually kill everybody.
Right. Yeah, I just wonder if this is leaning toward guild ability to launch a territory battle on demand. So if you can get whatever currency they come up with or ability to launch these things more often, this may not be as big a deal.
I would be fine. If that's the case, then yes. I completely agree with you.
And if we've got to buy 2 more characters out of the shard shop on top of Malak, man, we're gonna need more guild store currency. This stuff's not or guild event currency. I'm sorry. This is we don't have enough.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like if you said you get to launch which territory battle map you want. Obviously, you want to start off with light side because it's 45 stars to get the most out of that, and then you switch over to dark side Hoth. Going through, it's 48 stars. You get more currency out of that one. Say now you go to Geonosians, you get more currency and more better rewards as you progress up. So, like the older guilds will just be running Geonosians. The new guilds will be kind of progressing up, just like they do the tiers of raids.
Yeah,
that would be nice. So, if that's the reasoning, I'm fine with it. But I think they should have waited until that got implemented within the game.
yeah. Because what's a few extra shards gonna hurt? Nothing.
Well, apparently a lot.
Yeah, apparently. I love that shard shop currency.
Yeah.
All right, let's
And
see.
then the
Let's
other
get,
thing, like you mentioned, 8 to 5 for the hard notes.
yeah.
Got implemented. Ouch. It does hurt. I don't like it. I wanted to wrap up those farms. It's going to take me longer than I want right now. And that is what it's doing to me. And honestly, I can deal with that 5 shards. It does not. Yeah, I won't be able to get my characters 7-starred as quick as I want, but it doesn't hurt me for where I am in the game. Newer players that don't have Kevin or Devin, man, this really hurts.
Yeah, trying to get those. I mean, it does make buying the shards out of the shop for crystals a little more appealing.
Yeah, it
I
does.
mean, it still messes up the economy, makes it more expensive, but what can you do?
Yeah, I feel bad for newer players trying to go through, especially the way CG has been going through and placing characters in single hard nodes. It makes
Yeah.
it very hard to go through and kind of justify going
And you know,
8
and
back to
that
5.
kind of leads into we had a listener question from Cotman about I guess our opinion of the overall state of the game, and this really has a lot to do with it. There is such a difference between the new player experience and the in-game experience, and this is one of the things that when I talked to CG at Celebration, I brought up, and they're very aware of it. You know, and I'll go and get this out of the way. Just talking to them. And of course, these are people on the game. They're paid to be there and put a positive face on the game. I get all that, but they are passionate about this game. They like it. They love Star Wars. Extremely friendly. Talked to so many people. You know, gave them tips. You know, did all these little interviews and all that. Are they the ones making all these decisions? Probably not. You know, and is CG this monolithic entity? No, I mean there are people out there that care. But anyway, kind of sidetracking there. You know, we talked about that. So, you know, how do you balance a new player coming in that has this mountain that's getting steeper every week versus somebody that has all the characters and is on cruise control? And they said that it's something they're very aware of, and they're trying to figure out how to balance that because one, you do want to bring people up to speed and get them kind of caught up and feel like they're progressing in the game, but also, you know, for us that have been playing a while, we have invested a lot in these characters, and we've ground and put our time and sometimes money into these characters. How do they not invalidate our investment as well? And so it is a tough challenge, you know, because if you had to farm Charuten Bays and Shore Trooper and characters or players joining now, get them for basically free. Yeah, that would kind of suck too.
Yeah, there's
It's not an easy answer.
no, it definitely is not an easy answer, especially, I mean, I wrote notes about this too to go along with that. I mean, you go through and have a very big, because of that end game, a big free-to-play, pay-to-play divide up at the upper end too. Just take the Darth Revan event. Darth Revan event comes out, complains, there's way too much time to farm these characters. They went through and delayed this game way too much. It was way too telegraphed, pay-to-play. People are complaining. Too many people are getting Darth Revan. The Malak event comes out. Everybody starts complaining. Oh my God, the requirements are too high. We didn't have enough time to get it. This is horrible. What are you doing to the game? This is horrible. You just complained about too much time. Now you're complaining about too little time.
Right. Yeah.
It go through. You don't win for losing right there.
Yeah. And could these things be done better? Yeah. Are they getting everything 100%? No. But is it as bad? Yeah, I don't think it is either.
There's certain things that, to me, are CG's shooting themselves in the foot, is how I would go through and call it. And really, it's just really overthinking things. Keep it simple, stupid. Some of these kits are so complicated, so wordy, that they're hard to interpret. They're finding issues within these kits when they release new characters, because they're so complicated and there's so many effects that you do not see how they interact with each other until they're in the game. You can't go through and go, well, if we did this, this, and this, everybody's okay. They're writing themselves more and more into a corner as these characters come out.
Yeah, and that's a side effect of just the state of the game. And you can't release a marquee character with year one level abilities. I mean, who's going to get excited if Coyote Mundi comes out and his leadership ability is grants 15% tenacity up? Get out of here with that. Nobody's going to care. So it has to do something in the current game.
Yeah, I'm saying more like the uniques that are pages, and it went from everybody has a basic, a special, and a unique, and a leadership ability to Devin and Kevin have, 3 uniques. There are going to be a lot of different interactions now because you have 3 different uniques affecting one character, and then you go through and multiply that within teams. You have different characters that all have 2 to 3 uniques, and there's 5 characters on a team. You're talking about somewhere between 10 and 15 different unique abilities affecting a team. It's going to be a lot harder than when the game originated and everybody had one unique. You can go through and figure out the interactions a lot easier than trying to figure out 5 different ones or 10 to 15 different ones.
It's harder for them to balance too. I mean, we've seen that with all these kind of oddball teams that come out that need adjusting or need nerfing.
Wait, it's the oddball teams?
Yeah, like, a zombie lead with Jedi Knight Revan.
Well, yeah, but they aren't all oddball teams. They didn't catch Jedi Knight Anakin plugging right into a Kevin team and running over Darth Revan and Malak. It's not like it was going through and scratching their heads and going, I wonder what oddball team like having Zombie and Jedi Knight Anakin together. No, it had nothing to do with that. It was a very simple plug-and-play character that they did not catch. It also happened with the Heroic Sith raid. When was it? I think it was when Jedi Knight Revan came out. They had to go through and fix different interactions, and all anybody did was plug in their arena team into the Sith raid and was getting a ridiculous amount of damage. It wasn't like they were going through and trying to break it. All they did was go, hey, I have a good team in arena. Let me try it out in the raid. There was no theory crafting about it, and they didn't catch it.
So I guess the end state is they are looking at a possible test server.
Yes.
To give the community the ability to kind of do some of their work for them. And I get it. It's hard to catch these things. We don't know what their pipeline looks like.
And also, I completely understand. They do make comments, and I completely understand. There are so many people theory crafting and playing the game that within the first couple hours of a character going live in the game is more hours than they could ever put into testing one character. And I do completely get that. It's just the teams that have me scratching my head on when they're plug and play into a well-defined arena meta that they don't look at, or it doesn't seem like they look at. I should rephrase that. It doesn't seem like they look at, that has me scratching my head.
Yeah, and we see the things that slip through. I mean, there could be 1,000 game-breaking bugs they caught that never make it to the final build that we'll never know about. So I mean, we are only counting the strikes and never counting the hits. But I mean, it still sucks to make it into the game.
And I do hope they go through
anything else.
I do hope they go through and follow through with a possible test server that allows players, kind of like a sandbox mode or something like that, where they can theory craft and try out these new characters. And this may fall into what CG Carey was talking about, going through and not giving out huge hunks of information months at a time, and going through and letting people and the player base into what they're developing.
Yeah,
I mean, it does
hurt the challenge, because
it does hurt a little bit, with the panic farms and things like that. But at the same time, having that there allows people to go through and help CG create a better, more healthy meta and team base by going through and finding these errors when they do go through and actually go live. Even if it's just going through and saying a small portion of the community, getting a good player base in there to test out new characters, which I know they don't want to do because of leaks. So it's a fine line.
I don't know how much it really impacts the bottom line. I'd love to see numbers on that one day, but this is a phone game.
I kind of want to go through
Star Wars. This isn't Nuclear Secrets. If something gets out a little bit, it's not the end of the world. I don't understand the whole secrecy in the video game industry.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, we're making a new Call of Duty. No shit, you are.
Yeah, I kind of want to go through and see, not so much a test server, but say new characters hit the community a week beforehand, or even 5 days beforehand, and people get them at 7 stars gear 12. That way they can plug it into different different teams and try them out within the community, and then CG can go back, look at the data, see if anything's broken or anything needs to be adjusted, and then release the character the next week.
Yeah.
It goes through, lets people, you don't even have to do marquees really. You can just go through and give people the characters at 3-4 stars. People got a week to play around with the characters to see whether they wanted to invest in that character or not, see if it plugs into their roster currently, and then go from there.
Yeah. Speaking of marquees, that was kind of a solution I thought of for newer players. Bring marquees back. It doesn't hurt anybody to give them a chance to unlock a character at
3 stars. Yeah,
3 or 4 stars.
Yeah, that would be a very good thing, and just have a rotating. Even with the like the login characters in the theme for the month. Say you have a handful of marquees that come back, say 1 a week, that go through and relate to what's happening within the game right now. So like right now, Clone Wars is happening. So, and they're going through and leaning towards territory battle maps. Okay, dark side territory battle maps, they say bugs are important. Say Geo Soldier, Geo Spy, Sunfac, and who am I missing? Poggle.
Oh, yeah.
Say those are the 4 marquees for the month for newer players. You get them at 3 or 4 stars. If they have them unlocked, the marquees don't show up. If they don't have them unlocked, they show up.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, goes through, helps those players advance a little bit, gets them ready for an event that comes out, and kind of gives them a little bit of warning that, hey, you might want to work on these for the new stuff coming out.
All right, and they aren't just so at a disadvantage for joining newer guilds or more existing guilds.
Yes. Speaking of marquees, let's go over the marquee watch real quick and start wrapping this bad boy up.
Yeah, well, we should know pretty soon what the plan for the Galactic Chase ships are going to be. If they hit the table, we should get that about May 9th along with B1. I'm like you, I kind of think they're going to hit earlier for May 4th. Mm-hmm. Droideka, a week behind that. I could see them all hitting at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting, and I think that's going to tie in right with the Geonosis map. That General Grievous and these B1 and Droideka are going to have some sort of special mission or special event within the map.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. So, are you preparing for that any specific way?
As of right now, no. I have more important farms going on. I am desperately trying to get my Darth Revan team up and running. So all my gear is going there. I'm focusing there. Gonna get that wrapped up and then reevaluate where the game is when I get there.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there.
So you said you're bumping and grinding. Obviously, I guess that means Malak, or who does that mean right now?
Yeah, Malak. Need to put a little more gear on HK Zetas. I need about 3 or 4 of them, as always.
I had those. Those prepared, so I went through and dumped a lot of Zetas recently.
I did on General Grievous.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's where your Zetas went, where mine didn't. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. All mine went on that team. I'll be laughing when I get my little 20 guild event tokens, but for now, I'm sad.
And I will thank you for that.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, just waiting for stuff to go farmable.
Yeah, I'm still working on wrapping everything up. Like I said, Darth Revan team, mainly wrapping up those Gear 12 plus gear pieces, getting that arena team ready as I go through and finish up Sith Trooper. I don't know if I'm going to go any further on with my hard notes for Visa Smar. I'm at 81 of 100, so next time the Galactic Bounties 2 come back, I will have her 7 stars. So
Oh, nice.
might just leave her at 81 of 100 and just set her aside and go, yep, I'll finish her off when Galactic Bounties come back. Working
I
on...
think that's I think that's this week.
Okay, even better. If it's this week, I'm definitely going to do that. Embo, Range Trooper, and some miscellaneous ships. Obviously, the Sith Fighter, Bomber, and the ETA, because I need... Only having 5 attempts, I have currency laying around now. And gonna try to finish up Aurora.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, he has 2 nodes, too. Who'd have thunk it? So, because he has 2 nodes, I'm gonna try to finish up that farm really quick and not have to go through and spend crystals on refreshes before they have a bright idea to bring in B1 and the Droideka and take away one of his hard nodes. Because they like doing that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
right,
really it.
Anything else in the game? I think we're about good.
Well, I kind of wanted to ask you for the guild story. It sounds like you're going through spending all your guild event tokens on Malak.
Yeah,
correct?
I'm at 70 of 100. I think I need 8 more to get 5 more shards. After our next territory war, I still need I need a few more territory battles.
I think I'm going through and going to finish out my Darth Revan team before I start buying shards. So I'm going to continue buying gear for the time being, get that team up and running, and then I'll switch over to Malak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it, but Malak does seem to be a massive resource drain before whatever this new territory battle stuff brings. He does. He's a great character, but he does seem almost like a distraction.
Yeah, I agree. He does, but that's why I'm kind of holding off on the guild store, at least for right now, and kind of focusing on getting that team into arena and then going from there. All right. Man, that was a lot of...
Lots of. So we're going to wrap up the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes portion. Thanks for listening. You know the deal. Email us, cantinavisla@gmail.com. Check us out on Discord. Link is in the show notes. Shout out to new listeners, new members. Also find us on the alliancegaming.com with all kinds of other great content creators. And if so inclined, check us out on patreon.com/cantinavisla. If you are a patron, make sure you have a good address on your patron file. I've got some stuff for you. So
all right.
I'll leave it at that.
And then... I don't know if you want to go through and just get out of here, or you want to go through Celebration right now.
Let's talk about Celebration.
All right. I will sit back, kick up my feet, and let me hear how your celebration was.
It was cool. All right, that's pretty much it. No,
all right.
Man, in a word, amazing. Just bigger, better, to steal a line from a video game company, more badass than I ever expected it to be. It was so positive. There were so many people there. It was nuts. The celebrators were everywhere. From the moment I got to the airport, you just started picking people out. You see somebody in a Star Wars shirt. Some people had their lanyards on already, and you just felt an instant connection to these people. We were talking to a girl. She had a whole bunch of carry-on stuff. I'm like, man, you're going to Celebration? Are you cosplaying? Like, yeah. It's like, well, who are you going as? And she had like 3 costumes she was going as, like Hux and I forget who else. Just overall impressions. This seemed like a rebirth of Star Wars fandom. Just a complete flip on all the negativity over the past year. Just all the BS that's been going on with the fandom. this seems just kind of swept that aside, and now we're looking forward to the future, and everything just looks great. Man, I just kind of go on my timeline. Wednesday night, we basically woke up about 10:30 p.m. Because we had to be at the airport 2 hours away. Our flight left at 5. So it's kind of backwards planning. We ended up leaving about 1 o'clock in the morning to drive, get to the airport, make it to the security and all that. Made it to, we flew into St. Louis at about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, real short flight. Then a little bit of a layover there, then flew into Chicago. All said and done, from traveling since 10 o'clock the night before, we made it to Chicago and got in line about noon. Or made it to Chicago, lined up about noon, got into the show at 1. And just I got pictures up on our Discord. Just so many people, this huge line. They let us in, and the convention center is just massive. There's 4 or 5 huge rooms. They had the arena there, which had 9,000 seats in it, and a huge exhibition hall. I mean, if you go, you need to go multiple days if you plan on seeing everything. I mean, I went for the 5 days, and I still don't feel like I saw everything. So let's see. Thursday, it was just the exhibition floor. There was no panels, no news, no anything like that. My goal was to go shopping and just kind of get all the exclusives and all the swag I wanted day one, and then focus on the panels the rest of the time I was there. Oh, naive little Stan. Nothing about this show is quick. Like, if you want to do something, you're going to wait in line. So just going to the store, I never had a chance to go into the Celebration store, the official store. To make matters worse, day one, the sales system crashed, so they weren't even able to ring anybody up for about 3 hours. And even after that, it was real spotty. So everything was real slow going. So I never made it through there. I did meet CG. This is, I'm walking around, and CG had a pretty nice booth. It was.
They weren't in a trailer?
What's that?
They weren't in a trailer in the corner outside?
No. They were on the floor. They had a big giant, Galaxy Heroes sign. They had a table full of iPads set up. They had all the events unlocked. All the marquees, all the Heroic Journey. They had the Malak event, unlimited crystals. You could level up every character. So it was a cool little setup. So I took that moment to kind of introduce myself, and again, none of them listened to us. I talked to Crumb. I talked to some of the developers. Now I should have wrote the names down. I apologize for not remembering them, but they were handing out little pop sockets for the phones. And while I was there, a couple other people showed up, and they were beta testers. And they said, "Oh, you're a beta test team. Okay, cool." They went to the back and got out the Galaxy Heroes poster. And I was not leaving until I got one of those posters. So I talked to who did I talk to? I basically talked to one, told me to go talk to another guy, and I talked to him. They told me to go talk to Crumb, and so they were kind of giving me the run around. But hey, I ran around, and then guess what? I got me a poster. So it is framed and hanging on my wall right now.
All right.
So I did, I asked him about the new player issue. I asked about the Biggs portrait. Sabzalo wanted to let them know he needed a Biggs portrait in the game, so I did ask them about that. I tried to ask them where the Galactic chase ships would end up. They gave me a good no comment on that one. Let's see, what else did we talk about? That was kind of the big things. We talked about the Geonosian map and how we've been kind of predicting it for a while. And they said, yeah, it's kind of obvious what's going to happen. You just kind of take a look at the big picture, what's in Star Wars, what's coming. They do try to telegraph things a little bit when they can. But But overall, it was cool meeting them. Like I said, they're very passionate about the game. They are open to being on the show in the future, so I got to get in contact with them and see about getting them on. Then from there, it was just fighting sleep deprivation, looking at all the cosplayers, looking at all the different booths, doing the pin trading. Each year they have a set of 45 to 50 pins that you can go and some booths you have to basically win a lottery for, like the Funko booth. If you're able to get in line and purchase it, you can purchase their exclusive Ahsoka pin to help complete your set. So try to chase a lot of those down, coordinating on Discord to get trades and all that. There's a lottery system in place this year. And for like the big panels, if you wanted to go to the Force Awakens panel, you would show up the night before and you would camp out overnight and hopefully get into the arena. Well, this year they base a lot of it on the lottery system. You would enter in your badge numbers, you'd get entered in for so many chances to win, and if you won, you would get tickets to the floor, tickets to the overflow room, or whatever. I like that system. A lot of people prefer to camp out. They feel like you're earning your spot. That's for people that can, that's great. But for people with children or disabilities or just something that they can't stay on a concrete floor overnight, that puts so much stuff out of their ability to see. So I think the lottery system's fair. There are some tweaks they could do to it. You were allowed to enter in, like if I had a Thursday badge ticket, I could enter in for any panel on any day with that ticket and win. So people could win without even having a ticket for the day. So a lot of seats were awarded that shouldn't have been. So I spent a lot of Thursday kind of coordinating and trading, and I had tickets to the arena for all the major panels. So that was cool. So let's see. Yeah, that was pretty much Thursday. It was a kind of a blur. Made it back to the hotel, went to sleep, got ready for the next day, which Friday was the episode 9 panel. It was cold. We got there early. The line was already miles long. They were handing out beanies, little episode 9 beanies, and like I said, the staff members were saying, "This is from J.J. Abrams. He wanted you to have this. Thank you for coming. He hopes you watch his movie." Well, of course we are. There were some lottery issues with that. I legit won this one, but they only sent me one ticket where everybody in your purchase group was supposed to get passes. So I had to go find customer service and track that down. But eventually we got in there, pretty decent seats. Did you watch the panel streaming or?
I did not get a chance. I went through and was trying to catch highlights and people's recap of it, but I didn't catch anything live or see everything.
Yeah, nothing too groundbreaking there. Kelly Marie Tran did get a standing ovation when she came out. They chanting her name, and she was visibly taken aback. She almost started crying on stage. Which was good. I mean, if anybody needs some positivity from the Star Wars community, it's her. So that was real cool to see. J.J. Abrams was on stage. It was hosted by Stephen Colbert, which was a surprise to all of us. So that was really cool. Billy D. Williams came out, and he was just being Billy D. Didn't care, just being cool. And his answers were, say, 80% relevant to whatever he was asked. He was just there to be Billy D. So they're like, so Billy D, how's it like being with this new generation of actors? And he's like, J.J. Abrams, that's a cool name, J.J. Like, okay.
He got distracted halfway through.
Yeah, but it was cool seeing everybody. Of course, then they had the trailer, and the place went nuts. I mean, it was just amazing. So when Ian McDermott came back out with his roll it again and dropped the mic, man, just they blew the roof off. It was nuts. Yeah, did you see the video of the man reacting to the trailer, and people were just dogging on him for being emotional and all that? Did you see that on Twitter?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's a guy. He does react videos. I mean, it's a popular thing online, and he was excited during the exciting parts. He was, when they showed Leia, he's kind of taken it back and just had the same holy shit moment everybody else did whenever the Emperor's Laugh came on. And, it's say what you will about his reaction. There were 9,000 people plus reacting the exact same way that he was. So no shame, man. I was right there with you, brother. So yeah, we got there, and as soon as we left there, we just checked, and already the episode 9 beanies were up on eBay for $75, which kind of wraps up a lot of, and this isn't just Star Wars, this is all these conventions in a nutshell. Just this is my only complaint. The flipping culture is ruining these things. Nobody just gets something because they like it. Now it's, how much can I get for this? How much can I sell this for? And if you're a VIP ticket holder, you get access to the show floor 30 minutes prior to anybody else. So, and these are expensive tickets. So, I mean, I guess that's a legit bonus. But they can go out, buy all the exclusives, and flip them on eBay and make their money back. And if you're a fan, if you just like Star Wars and like Funko, you don't have a chance of getting these exclusives, unless you're going to overpay some scalper for them. So that was really my only complaint. Kind of the two things I really wanted from this show was the Celebration Hasbro exclusives, and I didn't win the lotto to be able to buy those, so I wasn't able to get one. Store never, they sold to the general populace for like an hour each day during the middle of a panel. So, it is what it is. I'm not too salty about that, but I can go on eBay and buy them for $150 right now if I wanted to. So, I guess there's that. After the episode 9 panel, we had a photo op with Peter Mayhew. He had to cancel his Thursday showings and autographs just due to health issues. And I feel awful saying this, but he should have canceled the whole showing. He is not in good shape. So he's kind of got funneled through. He was propped up in the chair, looked really uncomfortable, really tired. Just didn't interact with anybody. So he's kind of stood next to him, got our picture taken, and left. And it was, to me, it just felt like a freak show vibe, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I didn't really like that. I was uncomfortable, so I had this kind of a weird expression on my face. He just didn't look healthy. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have Peter Mayhew around much longer for us, unfortunately. But that was a little depressing. So moving on from there, let me pick it back up. Went to a Timothy Zahn panel where he talked about his upcoming book, which was really, really interesting. It was a cool panel, and that was the last thing we did for Friday. Saturday we didn't have tickets, so that was kind of a sleep-in day because at this point we were just so tired. Got up, went to a Cubs game. It's my first time in Chicago. First Major League Baseball game, so went and checked that out. They lost, but well. Just kind of walked around Chicago, went to the Navy Pier, went and got some deep dish pizza because that's what you do when you're in Chicago. And that night, one of the attendees had been coordinating this saber battle at the Bean. Are you familiar with the Bean, the big reflective sculpture thing?
It's actually it should be a Franco Gehry architecture. I do know.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep, I do know what it is, and going through in the architect behind that and different buildings that resemble that. Yes.
Okay. Well, they basically this girl, I forget her name, or woman, she coordinated this giant lightsaber battle at the Bean. Started at, say, 9 o'clock. So that was really cool. We probably had 500 people show up for it. There's lightsabers everywhere, all reflecting off of it. So that was pretty cool. So we did that, and then I went back, and that was Saturday. Sunday, it decided to snow, and it snowed its ass off.
Well,
the joke was,
welcome to my life all winter.
right. I'm not cut out for this. So we were like, yeah, the conference is cosplaying as Hoth today. So fortunately, this was basically the arena day for us. I was able to swap out I had some extra Phantom Menace 20th anniversary floor tickets that I traded this other couple that had extra Mandalorian floor tickets. And believe it or not, that couple was there strictly for the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary panel. That was their thing, their favorite movie of the series, and they were just couldn't care less about Episode 9. They were there for Phantom Menace, which was a crazy thing about the celebration overall. No matter what your favorite thing is in Star Wars, there are like 400 other people there with the exact same favorite thing. So that was kind of cool. So anyway, had the Mandalorian panel, amazing. Can't wait to see that. Didn't want to go back out in the snow, so we stuck around. Had the conversation with Alan Tudyk panel. He plays K2SO among other things. He's in Firefly. Alan Tudyk. If you don't know him, what are you doing with your life? So that was a real cool panel. It was real funny.
He's the chicken in Moana.
He is. Yeah, he talked about that. Warwick Davis hosted a lot of these. He's a great. It's Wicket, the Ewok. So he does a great job hosting these. So that was fun. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if this has been confirmed, but he will be in the Cassian series. So K2SO will be in that.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. Can't wait to see more of him. And then we had the Clone Wars revived panel. So Dave Filoni, the cast of Clone Wars, Ashley Eckstein, D. Bradley Baker, all of them. They showed clips of the new series. They showed a scene with Ahsoka coming back and the clones basically volunteering to go with her to the Seas of Mandalore. And they all have the Ahsoka paint on their helmets. And of course, Ashley Eckstein was crying on stage. She's great. She's very passionate about all of Star Wars. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that one. And everything
so
that
cool.
looks amazing. I really hope those clones actually hit into the game and have snip synergy. That would be amazing.
Oh, and then they talked about the fight between her and Darth Maul, or I guess Maul at this point, and how Ray Parks actually did the motion capture for the fight that makes it into the show. So that's pretty cool. So we got some sweet posters that day. Got an awesome Mandalorian poster and a Clone Wars poster. So they will be, as soon as I figure out where to put all this crap, they'll be on my wall somehow. So I'm catching up to you. My space here is going to be pretty cool before too long. And the last thing we did that day was a Hayden Christensen autograph. It was toward the end of the day. He was real tired, you could tell, but he was a real nice guy. Signed her stuff. Told him I hope to see him in some form in Episode 9, and he can either confirm or deny anything like that. He just really wanted to take a break. He'd been there a long time. So that was Sunday. Then Monday, last day, we started off Phantom Menace 20th anniversary. The couple that we traded the tickets for actually got picked to do a little pre-show kind of trivia game as they were killing time for the panel. So that was cool. They got to do that. That was awesome. Not a whole lot of groundbreaking stuff from that. No big stars. Well, Ahmed Best showed up. It was his first celebration, so he got a huge ovation as well. So that was pretty cool. Ian McDermott was there. Anthony Daniels. I'm trying to think who else. Ray Park. They talked about the movie, how groundbreaking it was at the time. They had a little video clip from George Lucas that seemed like they caught him on his lunch break. Like it was like this most like iPhone shot thing. He's like, "Oh, hey everybody, thanks for coming out to the celebration. Phantom Menace is a good movie, and Jar Jar's my favorite character. Bye." That was it. I was like, "Oh, no, okay." So Jar Jar is George Lucas's favorite character.
It's really Darth Jar Jar. He had eliminated it.
Right, yeah. He's the real laughing. You hear the trailer. Then from there, went to the Resistance Season 2 sneak peek. And that was a fun panel. They had pretty much the whole cast there. They were real energetic, real happy to be there, running the crowd. And we got to see the entire first episode of Season 2. We thought we'd get a trailer. They're like, y'all want a trailer? Like, everybody's like, yeah. It's like, well, we don't really have one, but would you like just to see the whole first episode?
Oh, I guess that'll work,
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. And I don't want to spoil too much, but it does pick off or start off right where the first season ends. Tone's the same. It's nothing really, nothing real groundbreaking, I guess.
Well, they
still
usually don't.
On a good trajectory.
Yeah, they usually don't for first episode of a new season. Usually it kind of builds up to it, and they have the first season character building out of the way. Now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Get into redefining Star Wars lore, really.
Yeah.
Adding to the universe.
Yeah, I think there were some theories that they were going to go off into unknown space. I don't think that's going to happen. They didn't say one way or another really where they were, but I kind of prefer them to be in universe and still be part of the Resistance. If they're out in nowhere land, what are they doing? Anyway, enough of that. After that, we had a Ian McDermott autograph. Which again, funny story here. This is toward the end of the show. We got to him, and they were out of the Emperor Palpatine pictures. So I ended up getting a Darth Sidious picture signed. So it was real nice. He was talking to everybody, and I told him the story of my girlfriend who's learning the lore of Star Wars. He's seeing the movies and all that. And as we were watching them, she would refer to Emperor Palpatine as old Spooky Face. And so I told him that. I said, yeah, you became referred to as Spooky Face. He was like, Spooky Face? I was like, yeah, in your makeup, of course. And he said something to the effect of, I'd find who called me that and I'd annihilate them. So the girl was like, I'm going to go to the other side of the hall.
Does he think he is Darth Nihilus?
Yeah, exactly. So he was just having a blast. He loved being there. Definitely stole the show with his being in the trailer and being on stage. So it was really exciting to meet him. Then from there, kind of ended the whole experience kind of on a down note. I went back to the Hasbro booth, and there's about an hour left in the show at this point, and they still had the figures I needed or wanted, weren't selling them. And, people were just kind of hanging out. Said, what are you going to do with them? Just pack them up and take them home with you? Just sell them. And so at the end of the show, there's probably 200 people in this line just staring at Hasbro as they're tearing down their booths and not selling us our sweet little dolls we want. So left there, went back out, kind of explored Chicago a little bit more, and came back to the real world. They announced Anaheim will be the location for the next celebration next year, 2020. I don't know if my wallet can take another one so soon. I'd love to go. It was a great experience. I highly recommend it. It was more than I ever would have hoped for. But yeah, that was my celebration experience and adventure.
Hey, sounds like you had a great time. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. If you're ever able to go, yeah, but put on your bucket list. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. So, man, that is you had quite the trip. I'm sure the listeners had quite a trip to go through and actually experience all this, and has made this. Man, I commend them for making it through all of this.
Yeah. And if y'all were there, shoot me some pictures or let me know what your favorite thing was or what you liked most or didn't like or whatever. I never want to stop talking about this.
But yeah, guys. So on that, let's get on out of here. Once again, thanks for listening to everything, and we will catch up with you next week with some news on Nerfs, what's going on within the game, because I'm sure CG is going to be ironing out some details very quickly here at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Later.
Yep.
As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the hollow table soon.